Hello lovely people. As most of you probably already know, on the 17th of September 2025, I'm hoping to go to Canada to attend a 9-month YWAM course called the School of Biblical Studies, aka SBS, in which I will be fully immersed in the Word of God, discovering and applying God's truth from the Word into the world we live in today. I'll explain the why in a second, but as for the what, I'm looking to raise £9,000 for my school fees, my flights, my insurance, my visa costs, clothes to survive the minus 35-degree weather, and all that fun lovely stuff. Now I know that not everyone will be able to provide financially, and that's fine. If anything, what I really ask of you is your support and your prayers, and if you can, please share this video. You have my absolute permission, go crazy, post it on your social media, on email, WhatsApp groups, maybe to someone you think might be interested. Just any help you can give me in spreading the word about this would be really appreciated. Now, I want to make it very clear, please pray about it before you give financially. I appreciate any financial support I can get. There is no pressure at all to donate. I felt prompted by God to be bold and ask, but please don't feel pressured and please do your due diligence with God beforehand. Now, if God is telling you to donate, first of all, thank you. Secondly, there are a number of ways in which you can give. I have a GoFundMe page that is active and I'll link it in the description below. But they do charge me fees, so a bank transfer is actually preferred. And now I know not everyone might be comfortable with that, but if you're open to the idea, I'll leave my email in the description below and you can contact me on that and I will let you know the details you need. I'm also looking for people to pray for me through this journey, and I'll let you know more about those prayer points at the end of the video. For those who don't know, I have just returned from Japan from another YWAM school, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit. I returned in March 2025, so 4 months ago? Ever since April this year, I have been working for New Life Church, and the money I'm making there is going towards my school fees as well. I'm also selling basically all of my clothes, and even some of my furniture. And if you're interested, I've been getting into the business of dog walking and cat sitting, so if you would like my services, please let me know. But ultimately, I realise I cannot do this alone by my own strength and my own finances. Instead, I'm putting it into the hands of God, who gives me the ability to produce wealth because he is ultimately my source of success and prosperity. Plus, if you know my Japan story, who am I to forget his past faithfulness and provisions? I know I need to call on the cheerful generosity of the Kingdom community and humbly ask you to help me get there, which will be a huge blessing for me, but would also add to your blessings too. Okay, that's the what, and now I'm going to tell you about the why. But I just want to say, this video is not supposed to take the place of a conversation. I would love if you would like to talk about this in person. I will be doing my rounds, don't you worry. But in the event I do miss you in those rounds, please feel free to call me, email me, speak to me in person. I would be so excited to share more of my story with you. Another thing, this video might be quite long, so I've timestamped it with all the things that I'm going to be talking about, which are why SBS? What is my goal? How does this relate to my calling in kingdom development? Why Canada? As well as my prayer requests and how to keep in touch and some more donation information. Okay, here we go. As mentioned previously, in March 2025, I returned from Japan from another YWAM training course called the Discipleship Training School. Thank you so much to everyone who helped me get there, by the way. If you're interested to know how it went, there is a link below to a blog and a podcast that I did with my church. After my DTS, I realised I'm still lacking in the Word. I also felt like I left with more questions than I had before, which I believe is God's way of bringing me deeper into Him. I believe that this course will help me dive deeper than I've ever known how to. I'm extremely keen to learn as much as I can about God, and to better understand the fundamentals of grasping the words so that I may go ever deeper throughout the rest of my life. This course was actually something I was really against doing originally, but over a couple of months, God really flipped my heart, and I can't help but feel like this particular course in this particular place holds more for me than I can imagine. If you're interested in knowing more about what an SBS is, I will link something in the description for you to look at. So there are a couple of goals I have in mind. The first one is to grow. Namely, I really want to grow in patience, persistence, discipline, and just become more knowledgeable of the Word. For those of you who don't know, I became a Christian when I was 20. I'm 27 now, and I only really took my faith seriously in the last 4 years. I've spent a lot of my faith journey figuring it out for myself, and this has proven to be very difficult at times, especially when trying to master the spiritual disciplines or trying to understand and applying the Bible to my life. Post-DCS, returning home was a shock to the system. Going from a dedicated environment of just going for God to back home to normal everyday life, it's been very challenging to maintain the same momentum I had in Japan, which I realize is unrealistic, to be honest, anyway. But some of those spiritual disciplines, like reading the Bible, have become increasingly hard, especially as I've realized how much I really struggle with it. I believe that this is God's way of revealing to me my weaknesses, and I believe He's going to use SBS to help me transform them. I'm expecting it to help me further understand the basics of reading the Bible and how to understand and apply it to my heart. And I'm hoping that it's going to give me tools that I'm going to be able to use for the rest of my life. I'm also expecting my knowledge of the Bible to increase, obviously, especially my Old Testament knowledge and historical knowledge, because like I said, I'm not trying to be hard on myself. I've just recognized that I'm lacking in the Word more than any other area of my faith. I've read the Bible in its entirety, but I would love to just be in an environment where I can just go deeper and just frankly learn how to go deeper in the first place, because I want it to not just be head knowledge, but heart knowledge. There's another goal I have in mind, but that links to the next section, which is this course really ticks multiple boxes for me. I'm still figuring out what my calling is more specifically than just missionary, but the fact that it takes me overseas is great, because I just want God to show me more of His creation, how He's working in each place, and how I can help His kingdom in those places. I can also feel God pushing me to become more knowledgeable in the Word, and I think it's to prepare me for something bigger. God recently redirected me to an old dream of mine. I have always had the sense that I want to build something, using my creative skills, to make something that is a tool for evangelism in the modern world. I know that's vague. I don't quite know what it is yet. Possibly some kind of organization or business that promotes the faith. After coming back from Japan, I felt God pushed me to explore this idea more and seek His guidance as I go along this course, because I realise if I'm ever going to do anything like that, I better have a good understanding of the Word and a decent theology. I cannot even begin to put something out into the world that is about His good news if I'm not sure I understand it enough. And even if that isn't what happens long term, I still believe it's going to be such a fundamental part to my faith journey and equip me for the rest of my life. So this particular YWAM, based in the French-speaking town of Dunham in Quebec, specialises in the arts. Now, as I just mentioned, I have that old dream of mine to build something, and I can't help but feel like God has brought me to this particular place, not only to deepen my understanding of the Word, but also to nurture my creative skills so that I may be using them missionally and vocationally. Also, it just seems really nice. The people who run it are so lovely and have a real pure passion for serving Jesus in the community. Plus, French is a million times easier to learn than Japanese. If you want to know more about YWAM Dunham, I will link something in the description below for you to read about. I'm labeling all these links, I swear. Now, like I said, it's not just about finances. I need your prayers and support just as much, if not more. I will be giving prayer points as this journey goes on, and I will tell you more about how to get those in a second, but for now, please see the screen for my current prayer points. Thank you so much for all your prayers. It really means a lot to me. So, if you were part of my Japan journey, you will know that updates were scarce. This was due to the strictness of phone usage and contacting family and friends. I just want to assure you that this time, that won't be the case. Obviously, I will have a lot of studying to do, but I will not be restricted in keeping everyone up to date and staying in contact with people. I plan to do that with videos like this, which I will be sending weekly via email and WhatsApp about how I'm doing, what's going on, and any updated prayer points. If you would like to receive emails, WhatsApps, or both, I've put a link to a form in the description below. Please fill that out and I will add you to a relevant mailing list and or WhatsApp group, or both. Now for some final donation information. So, SBS is split into 3 terms and I have to pay for each of them individually. This means I have 3 separate payment dates. They are the 17th of September, the 4th of January, and the 10th of April. I need to purchase the rest of my flights, travel insurance, and pay the rest of my visa fees, and I do aim to get as much of the money as possible in advance. But if you want to donate and you feel like you can't give one big lump sum, you can absolutely give smaller monthly donations. I'd be grateful for any amount you can offer to help me with. If that's something you would like to do, please email me using that email in the description and I will let you know how you can do that. Okay, I think that's all I've got for now. Yep, like I said, please come and have a chat. I really want to talk to people, especially if you want to know more about what's going on. I appreciate all your support and prayers. I just ask that you would believe in me and God's call over my life and just help me in any way you can. Thank you so much and God bless.